Hello, everybody. It's Donna Cravata, and we're back again for another Real 50 Over 50 interview. I believe this is our 140th. And today we have one of my favorite people ever, Carolyn Herfurth, who is a business strategist and truth teller for female founders. She's a trusted strategic thought partner for entrepreneurs who think fast, care deeply, and build their own way. With 3 decades across business design, franchising, licensing, and sales, Carolyn partners with 6 to 7 figure female founders to bring their through line into focus, aligning the best of what they built with the future they're ready to create. After advising thousands of business owners, Carolyn has seen how often brilliant women shrink themselves to stay in models they've long outgrown. Her gift is seeing the invisible architecture of a founder's mind and weaving their assets, IP, instincts, and half-formed ideas into something coherent, commercially smart, and uniquely their own. The result is clearer direction, bolder decisions, and revenue that reflects a business designed with intention rather than inertia. Welcome, Carolyn. And just like she is one of the few people I allow to be a transplant in my city.
I don't know if you saw my LinkedIn post to your post this morning. I'm like blushing, laughing every time you say I'm like a real New Yorker. I'm just like, I know how big of a compliment that is.
It is. It is. It is.
Absolutely. And by the way, did you write that intro or did I? Or was it a combination of the two of us? Because damn, I sound really smart.
What I did was I took the About Carolyn page from your founders report and I worked it.
I can tell there's some Donna in there for sure.
Would you like me to send this to you?
Of course. So good.
Totally I do good bio.
Oh my gosh. Already worth the 2 minutes we've been on. I'm like, wow, I have a brand new bio. This is amazing. Oh my gosh.
So we go back, God, it has got to be 10, 11 years.
Is that all?
I know, it feels like we were playing together in the 3rd grade, right?
I know. It does feel that way. Yeah, I mean, at least it's been that.
Yeah. And we met at Savor the Success when we were both doing that, and we would go to those Savor events that were usually in like the back of clothing stores, or
I think specifically we did meet in the back of a clothing store. I think you're right. And I think I remember who the speaker was that time too.
I don't remember who the speaker was. I bought a bracelet that night. I still have it.
Oh, cool.
But we were sitting in a little mastermind, little huddle, and I was getting ready to launch my total social PR system, which was like the first big product that I created. And when the first person clicked the button to buy this, that I had like put together with spit and glue, it fell apart. And I got Kim DeYoung and somebody else that I know rebuilt everything into Infusionsoft. And then I was ready to go, but I was terrified that I would like launch this and something horrible would happen again. And I brought that up in this little huddle that we were in. And Carolyn grabs my hand and she says, if I have to get on the goddamn train and go to Westchester County and come there and put your hand on the button and push it, I'm going to do it.
And we had just met.
We had just met.
We had just met, like 2 minutes before that.
And she said, push the damn button. And I reached out to you probably 10 times over the next couple of days, just so you can tell me again, push the damn button.
You know, I have another story like that. Can I tell a story?
Yeah, but let me just finish this up.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I pushed the damn button and I made $30,000 in one day.
Cha-ching.
So there you go.
Yeah.
The woman knows her stuff.
But I mean, isn't that the thing though, Donna? Like sometimes we are scared or sometimes we can't see the forest through the trees type of thing. And I had a similar, but very different experience with, I was in a mastermind when I lived in Minnesota. I was in a mastermind with some really amazing women. And one of them is a keynote speaker, and she runs wilderness trips for women. Mm-hmm. She's the person who goes to the Boundary Waters, not the Boundary Waters probably, but she goes up north to Minnesota and hand harvests wild rice. And then and then sells it when she's, off pitch, like at events or whatever, pitching, just at women's events, women's business events, where she's supposed to be selling trips and getting people to buy her trips. And so I remember being in a mastermind with her one time, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to be at a Navo or something like that. And I've got a booth. And I go, what are you offering? And she goes, I'm going to sell wild rice. And I go, how much? And she said, $10. And I go, fuck the wild rice. And she's still to this day. And I swear, we're on LinkedIn, aren't we? Okay. Well, that's what I said.
I don't care.
What I said. And she just looked at me, and I go, $10 bags of wild rice is not going to build your business.
But she's picking one grain at a time.
Chris, sell the trips. Give me your run sheet on all the upcoming trips you have. Tell me what your keynotes are. Your audience, people who can hire you or go on your trips with her. Why are you acting like a grocery store? And she's like, oh. And so many times over this. So whenever you tell this story and we laugh about it, I often think of Chris, and when she'll say, yeah, fuck the wild rice. But that's just it. I think sometimes smart women, we get in our own way. We overcomplicate. We get afraid of our own shadow sometimes. And it's because we had one little glitch where, it was put together with spit and glue, and it fell apart. And so it's it's fascinating how we do that. And it's so easy for me to come in and see it for other people.
Exactly. And what we do is we pull back that residual effect of our corporate world where you're just as good as the last task you did. And my last task was, it fell apart, but it wasn't, I wasn't thinking about how I typed 14 hours a day till I couldn't move my fingers, creating all of this and pulling together all of these parts. And then just to kind of validate some of the work that you're doing, because I know you have clients that come back to you, 5 years later, 10 years later. I mean, the trust is so incredibly strong. But that content that I created way back then is still the foundation of what I do today, It has not changed.
Yeah, you've updated it for new platforms, and but it's you have very foundational things that are going to work, whether Periscope or MySpace or whatever is long gone. You've got really solid point of view. You know how to help people get visible, and
And,
but we all screw ourselves over.
We really do. So can you see this for yourself, or you need somebody else to see it for you?
I need somebody else. I mentioned to you when we were in the green room before our interview started that I was on with my coach this morning. And I'm just I was describing what was going on for me kind of physically, and that I'm creating this new way for people to work with me so they can get rid of some of the clutter in their business. Because you need to clean out the junk drawer before you can fit more shit in it. So, and that's actually a really terrible example. That's the way to describe it. But I was just I love talking to her, because I'm does the offer energetically, does it work, whatever. But I ended up spending an hour and 20 minutes with her, and half the time I spent talking about crying over my dad and my siblings, and it's just and she is able to help me identify the flaws in my thinking, or the flaws in the way I show up for my family as being the youngest of 5. And and she's like, this has nothing to do with your business and everything to do with your
Yeah.
business. She goes, your siblings, your family does not know what you do in business. They have no idea. They would be intimidated probably, or like jealous, but she's just like, so that's what you're feeling. That's what you're sensing. And I'm just like, oh, and I couldn't go to ChatGPT and have it tell me that. I couldn't even go to you and have you tell me that. Well, possibly. But yeah, I think we need humans.
Yeah.
I love AI assisted.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all have our own stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, I was Carolyn put together this report, a founder's report that is just really amazing. And I'll flash up her website, but go over there and download it, because it's her insights on like what's coming next, and it's really powerful. And there was a lot in there about AI, and I wanted to dive into that because I love AI too, and I approach it differently as you do. I think we could have a really interesting conversation about that, because I don't use it the way most people do, and custom GPTs just piss me off, because I really think you need to understand how these tools work, and you need to understand, where's that line? What can they do, and what should they not do? And don't hand over the control. You need to control them.
Yeah.
And the validation that I get is the tools constantly tell me that I'm using the tools right.
And how? Tell me more about that.
First of all, I start with context. I think about what I want before I ask for anything. I mean, sometimes I just go in there and play around, but first I'm like, okay, what do I need, and what am I bringing to the table? Where are the gaps? Where can this tool fill in the gaps? What can it do that I can't do? What does it know that I don't know? And I think through that before I do anything, because now I'm coming through, coming to the tool with context, with a bit of a plan, with a bit of authority. Like, I'm in charge here. This is what I need. What can you do for me? Kind of attitude, instead of coming there like, sheepishly asking, should I do this? What's next for me? I mean, it's not a magic ball.
Did you see, I actually, I didn't know if we were going to talk about the founder's forecast today, but did you see on page 9 where I asked ChatGPT what entrepreneurs, business owners asked it?
It's lame.
Oh my God. What should my business focus on next year?
Yeah.
What should my next offer be? What's the right price for my offer? I'm like, how do I scale my business? I'm like, how? Do you think ChatGPT is going to give you any good, like, I don't know. There's so many things wrong with that list.
Yeah, I mean, you have to go with context and say, I'm doing this, 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 and this. So, okay, so I'll give you an example of what I did the other day. I want to write a storytelling guide. But from like my whole thing is about story gathering, like gathering the stories you already have. So what I did was I went in and I said, I gave it like some of the work that I have created. I said, these are the people that I admire and that I learn from and that I would want to emulate. I don't want to copy, but I want to emulate what they're doing and align it with what I'm doing, but from the lens of my work. And what it gave me back was brilliant, because it went and found those specific people and like their body of work and aligned it with mine. And where are the gaps? Where are the overlaps? And from that, we were able to create something that's incredibly valuable, respectful of the people that I admire, because I'm going to say, when I share this, I'm going to say, these are the people that have inspired this, that have inspired me, that have taught me. They're my mentors, whether they know it or not.
Yeah. Right.
And I was able to create something that was really good that I could not have done myself. And that's what I'm really passionate about with these tools, is you can create things that are better than you can create alone, and you could do it affordably. But you're right, it can't, it's not going to be your business coach. It's not going to, I mean, it could help you along the way, but you need like, one of the things that I come up with is like, it doesn't know what it feels like to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and have that, like, dark night of the soul moment. It doesn't have a soul.
Okay, I just have to say, I think it's so funny that you even brought up waking up at 3 in the morning, because last night, Frank lives in Yonkers. We went to Yonkers, went and ate, had a couple pints of Guinness, went home. I went to bed at 10:14, which I'm usually in bed at midnight, but I was like, I have a lot of meetings tomorrow. I just want to be fresh. Every time I go to bed early, I wake up freaking at 1:32 in the morning. So I'm like tossing and turning. He starts tossing and turning. So at 3:30, we just start talking. We talk for probably an hour and a half. We never do that. But I was laughing. I'm like, well, what's keeping you up as long as we're awake? Let's have a conversation. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't want to make a habit of this, honey.
No, could we do this at 10 a.m.?
But AI doesn't know what that's like. He's also a business. I wasn't even worrying about business. I just went to bed too damn early. And then once I'm up, I'm like, thank God for Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Wiser Than Me. I can listen to, her great interviews.
Yeah. I listened to that this
Nancy
morning.
Pelosi. Oh my God, she's so great. But
yeah. And so tell me how you're using AI. I'm really curious how you're using it.
Well, it's the really, I like it to help me conceptualize.
Mm-hmm.
So that is primarily what I use it for my own stuff. So I'll be like, okay, I have this idea. I really think, this is what I see. This is the kind of the backstory. You are this person to me, or you are this I want you to fill this role.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's usually more conceptualizing things. So I am doing writing, but it's really thoughtful writing. My mom was so cute. She goes, who's 91? She said, well, she goes, you're just wiser than you were before. And not that she reads a shred or even knows what I do, but I was talking to her. I'm like, I'm not putting out a bunch of content. I'm putting out really good content, but I'm using AI to kind of help me conceptualize and articulate certain things. I don't think I'm prompting it as well as I should, or as thoroughly as I should, because I spend a lot of time manually fixing, but I don't mind that because I'm a human and I like human stuff. So that's one way. The other way is, and I actually put a couple examples of this in my report, the Founder's Forecast. I coach. I don't even coach. I'm a strategic thought partner for expertise-driven businesses. And one of my clients came back to me this fall, and she had said in her kind of intake form that she wishes she had a signature system. She's been doing the same thing forever. And it was just like kind of a throwaway comment that she made that was not going to solve everything for her. It was just like, oh, I wish I had a signature system. And then I was looking at her business name and I was like, God, her business name is so outdated. It's not even what she does anymore. And then all of a sudden it went bing. And so I plugged it into AI and I said, this is the name of the business. Here's what she does. Here's the value she delivers. Here's the emotional benefits hierarchy of her clients. Like I went through I put my stuff in that I gather from clients. And I said, what could we call a signature system that is an acronym for her company name? Or that her company name is an acronym for? And it just went boop, 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 and it fit like beautifully.
It's really good for
she would have never seen. She would have just kept thinking, oh, I wish I had a signature system. I'm like, you do, you just haven't articulated it. And now we have brought your business name back into relevance and today. So it made an instant difference in her business. But it's like AI would have never put those things together. First of all, AI doesn't have my intake form, which gives the context. It asks all the right questions.
Yes.
So I love it for that reason. It's real. I've used it with my clients for about just the past year. And there's a lot of slop. You have to be so careful.
You have to be.
But if I use it strategically,
Mhm.
like I did in that case, I can't just be like, so another example is with a client. I'm like, this is what she does. This is what the problem she solves. And it just kind of helped me get the big idea in 3 words, literally 3 words. And it is a big idea. We're creating an entire speaking platform around it, her signature system, like everything. And this is a returning client. We worked together 7 years ago. So it's really fun to be able to just use my strategic brain and then just go make this practical.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you brought up your intake questionnaire. I have a very detailed intake questionnaire as well. And what I've been playing with, I'm about ready to share it with my clients. I took my intake questionnaire and I shared it with Perplexity. And it helped me create like a foundational prompt based on the questions in my intake questionnaire. So now instead of them filling out this intake questionnaire, it's like this interactive experience with AI.
Cool.
So they're kind of going through the process on their own, but not in a custom GPT way where somebody put the assumptions on the back end, but just going through these questions one at a time and having, I mean, the thing that I see is people are just reluctant to put their hands on the keyboard and use it, because once they do, they just get curious and then they start playing and learning and get excited about it. And I thought that this would be a good way to get them like right up front, get them interactive with the tools and let them start exploring on their own, because I think moving forward, the way that we do business is going to change. People are going to need different things from us as these tools can do some of the heavy lifting. And we need to kind of focus on becoming more of a guide and creating that contextual experience.
Yeah.
And let the tools do the more monotonous things.
I'm so glad you brought this up. So of course, I'm going to be asking for a little lean. So as I've been creating this new offer, which is like a way for me to help someone, is a strategic reset, a way for people to kind of get rid of the stuff they no longer need. And as I was doing that, I was going back through workshop materials I've done before. I used to have this workshop called The Fix, business design workshop, all kind of the same thing. And I'm like, the other day I found a Google form that had people answer all these questions so they could go into a spreadsheet so I could use it for the workshop. So everything was just like, I'm like, oh, well, some of that stuff will be nice for, the strategic reset, but I'm like, this isn't exactly the format I want for the strategic reset. I need something. So I think I need AI to help me take that and kind of this new way so that it's very precise. And I have a diagnostic that is very specific, but it's just like, type this in manually. Now go to the next column, type this in manually. So I have like all these tools I want to bring together so that the user interface and the user experience of doing the diagnostic is really straightforward for them, but gets me the output I need so that when I do the session with someone, it's not like I have to spend all this time kind of like figuring it out. So Perplexity is something that helped you put your thing together. Okay.
It is. But if you want to build it as like an interactive tool, I'm probably going to take this step too. I just haven't gotten there yet. But Notion has really been upgraded to work with AI, and I hear that it is very easy to use.
Okay.
So that might be someplace where you can build it out. And, even if you needed like a Notion developer to build it, that's something that you can, go to Upwork and hire somebody for an affordable price to build that out for you.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm like, I can have people do it manually, but I do love the idea. I'm like, this is one of those things where it's like, hey, I've got this thing and it's amazing. Like the output of it is, but I like the idea of just building something that makes the intake really
Yeah,
breathe.
and that's another thing that we're going to need to be mindful of as business owners, as we move forward, because all of this technology is becoming easier for anybody to have access to. We're going to need to create better experiences.
Yeah. No, I think we should make it really hard for people to do business with us.
Yeah. Okay.
I wrote in my LinkedIn post that you and I would disagree on something. So I'm just pretending to disagree
You're
with
pretending.
you. No, you're absolutely, you're right. I mean, all of it needs to be easier. And I think, finding people who can architect some of those systems
Mhm.
is going to be helpful. I mean,
Yeah.
what,
And
yeah.
what gets me really excited about all of this is that we have all spent way too much time building and putting pieces together and doing things that are so outside of our zone of genius, that by all of these systems becoming more attainable and easier to manage, we can spend more time doing what we're really good at.
Absolutely. I don't want to try to figure certain things out. Like, there are things that will be helpful to my clients and me, but I'm not going to try to figure out technology things that are just not my lane. I mean, I will just pull out my hair what little of it I have. So it's yeah. I have you seen this, and maybe I'm getting off topic, but have you noticed that people are relying on AI, leaning on it more than is really useful to them, helpful
Yes.
to them?
They're looking, it's the same people that are looking for a magic bullet. They're looking for the magic bullet here too. There is no magic bullet.
Right.
Shocker. Spoiler alert. We've got to do the work. We've got to do the work. And that's why I really think that, like, the custom GPTs are a crutch.
Okay,
And
hold on. Sorry.
okay.
When you're talking about the custom GPTs, you're saying that people are putting out custom GPTs
And
and
selling them to other people.
yeah, okay. All right.
All right. So now, they're not software developers. So they're
Right.
building something on technology that changes minute by minute.
Mhm.
They're locking you into one platform.
Mhm.
And what's happening now is people have actual relationships with their tools. They've spent time, they've invested, they've taught it it's the voice, they've interacted, there's history there. They don't want to go to another tool.
Right.
And we have a window where we can understand the way these tools work before they really take over, and it's happening faster than anybody anticipated.
Yeah.
So if we don't understand that now, we're all at a disadvantage, because they think differently, and it changes everything. The way it fundamentally, it's not just like a social media management tool or something. These tools are fundamentally changing the way we learn, the way we speak, the way we interact,
Absolutely.
all of it. And if we don't have some basic understanding of how they work, we're always going to be like, not quite there as far as how to use them. So, I'm not saying that you need to be a data scientist, but, just understanding that what it's doing, it's just like a big giant jumble of words, and it's
Mhm.
looking for the next logical word.
Right.
And that
Right.
next logical word could be from something from 5 years ago.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yep. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I have found, I feel like 25 was the year that I think a lot of people just kind of leaned on it.
Yeah.
And, 25 was just a shit show in so many ways. And it was a safe haven for people. It didn't I don't think it got most people what they really needed. But it was a little bit of a band-aid, and it's fine with that. I mean, it's, AI is fast and it puts out some good stuff. And, if you know what questions to ask it or how to prompt it or how to shape, great. But I don't think, I think as one of my, I don't do predictions, but my forecast for one of the 5 forecasts is people are just going to want humans again. But tech enabled is fine. AI,
Yeah.
assisted, fine. But I think there's a craving for like human
There is,
engagement in interaction in your business.
especially for younger people,
Oh, yeah.
because they never really had it.
That's an interesting observation. I don't really work with younger people because my people are, 6-figure expertise driven businesses. And I don't have the pleasure of working with that many young people, but I think, in my world, in my lane, but I can look at my nephews
Yeah.
and, kind of see what they're doing. They're all kind of farm boys. So
Yeah. But I mean, that's my most of my exchange too, was like my son and his friends, and they're all analog.
mhm.
They really
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool, actually.
It
That's
is.
really cool. I'm glad to
It
hear that.
is.
Considering they grew up with a phone in their hands.
Well, they grew up with a phone in their hands, but they also, like, COVID hit them at really, important parts of their life, important
Mhm.
parts of their upbringing, and it shut down, their ability to interact with people. And I think that because of that, they have a real craving for, being live and in person with people.
I love that. That's all. I'm noticing I'm craving human interaction. I mean, I love writing. I love doing my stuff. I love having 3 places to sleep.
Mhm.
Like I love that. But I'm like, as I'm kind of thinking about this year, I'm like, I kind of think I miss Savor the Success,
Mm.
where you and I met however many years ago. Like I miss those I don't want to be out on the town every week,
Mhm.
maybe once a month, maybe. But I do like, I have my girlfriends, I've got my best friend, I've got, my Irishman, but I want human engagement. And it's also, I also know that like having my coach, my woo-woo coach, as I like to call her, she sets my energy straight. But that's over the phone, So
Mhm.
I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah,
Well,
I
you
miss
might have to
Savor.
start having your little garden parties again.
So get this. You see this the lateral filing cabinet behind me. So we're coming together with a plan that will get rid of that or move it in my tiny little apartment and build like floating shelves, a floating cabinet that pulls out into a table so I can have
Mhm.
entertaining in the winter, not just summers
Mhm.
out on my patio.
That's nice.
So
I'm going to start doing that too.
yeah, I love it.
I'm I'm going to have my dining room back very soon.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah.
So we did it. It's a half
We
an
did
hour.
it. All
We
right.
talked. We talked. So
Oh,
anyway, I like to end these with a wisdom bomb, something small and actionable that people can take with them. Um, one of the things I wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about was trust. Can you wisdom bomb on trust?
mm-hmm. Wow. There's just so much junk. Gosh, I don't want to sound negative. There's just so much junk out there.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Um, Mostly because I just don't want to trash.
Mhm.
Because there are some really good people out there doing good work who we can trust.
Yeah.
I also think there are a lot more who we can't,
Okay.
unfortunately.
The other topic that I wanted to talk about, which is probably going to be easier for you, was discernment.
Was what? Discernment?
Yeah.
Well, that goes hand in hand with trust.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it does. And discernment is really trusting your instincts. You can feel that vibe. You can totally feel that vibe. So, and it's funny, I'm glad that you brought up discernment. Because before, when I was like fumbling on the trust thing, the first thing that came up is just go with your gut if it feels like the right thing. But I think there have been so many times I went with my gut, thought I was going with my gut, but it was panic. It was wanting. It was buying some promise that really didn't exist. And so that's, so I think the discernment is learn from those mess ups. I mean, I incurred massive debt, spent so much money on coaches then of what the cash I had, and then started using credit cards. And I mean, I have not incurred an extra dollar of debt for years, but I was in a bad habit. It was a habit because I kept believing and trusting everybody.
Well,
and I have become more discerning. I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, you kept thinking somebody else had your answers.
I did for ages, but that's like the last many years. I'm like, oh no. I'm far more discerning, and it doesn't mean I'm afraid to spend money. I will invest because I know you have to invest in yourself, but I don't just go with gut instinct. I am definitely more careful, more discerning, and you can read stuff and just be like, oh my gosh, I know this is bullshit. This is just promises that can't be kept.
Yeah. And that weren't meant for you.
Right.
They just weren't yours. They weren't even yours to accept.
We don't have to do everything or buy everything.
No. Well, we're getting some nice little comments here.
Oh, good. Discernment is key.
Anyway, everybody connect with Carolyn, because I can tell you from personal experience that she is somebody that you want in your life. She is funny and she is smart and she will kick you in the ass and give you a hug at the same time. And here's the other thing that we didn't even get to talk about. Your New York City escapades and how you're like a superhero of New York and you save people in Central Park. And you need a monument.
Oh my goodness. Life is interesting. Never a dull moment.
There is never a dull moment. But connect with her. Go to her website, download her founders report.
Founders forecast. Yeah.
Founders forecast. It's really, really, really good. And just, get into her world, because she might even invite you over for one of her little garden parties, which are great. I've had such good connections there. But as always, it's a pleasure to spend some time with you. We need to schedule one of our little outings again.
A little Friday afternoon thing. Yep.
Yeah, a little Friday afternoon thing. And come back every Wednesday. We've got more. And if you're watching on the replay, tag us with questions, comments, ideas, and we'll respond and keep the conversation going.
Donna, you're doing great work. And I love what you stand for and how you really are so devoted to helping female founders be visible.
Yeah, well, it's up to us because everybody else screwed it up.
So, wow. Not naming any names.
No, but somebody I kicked out of New York.
My.
Okay, on that note, have a great Wednesday, everybody. Thank you, Carolyn, and we'll be back every Wednesday with more.